My name's Kenny Lawson. This is my first time on the first episode of Anything Goes. Little podcast that, ironically, we don't even know where it's going. So let's find out. Meet this guy.
Hey, what's up? I'm Damien. Your friend Sam's. Known him forever. Brody. Good people, man. I work with these guys. So yeah, it's exciting to be here. It's my first podcast, so here we are. Yeah.
We'll bet because you don't really probably know anything about me.
Okay.
Probably a good thing. Just kidding. But I read your book.
Oh, yeah.
But before I talk about your book, tell me a little bit about you. Like, how'd you end up the Damien you are now?
Oh, man. Well, I guess good way to think about it. I've known Jimmy at Surefire Sign, Jimmy Battaglia, for probably 20 years. And I used to work with him. We were doing Signtronics and stuff. And he said, one day, he said, Damien, he said, I'm starting a company. He says, when I get it put together, I want you to come work with me. And I said, all right, Jimmy, let me know, And about 4 or 5 years later, he had a Surefire put together. And he said, I called him up and he said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow, dude? Come on out. so I've just been doing the Surefire Sign thing for about 8 years now.
What is
pretty cool.
Surefire Sign?
We're a LED manufacturer, LED sign manufacturer.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the LED video and like billboards and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are, when it comes to computers, it's like a second nature.
I feel like I connect with them, kind of like on a level, So yeah.
Absolutely. Did you grow up around here?
No, I grew up over by the Legends in Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah. So tell me about you're Jehovah's Witness. So I'm sure you had to see some interesting stuff. I mean, anytime you're out, in the field in the trenches, I'm sure there's stuff that you would just never expect that you would come across.
No, you're 100% right. Since I was homeschooled too, like I didn't really get to see a lot of other people.
Oh wow, so that'd be really it'd make it that much more intense. You'd be like, wow, I totally didn't expect to see. You might not expect it. Yeah.
Every time they'd open the door, I'd look through and just like get like a glance. I'm like, what's their life like? And then that's what their house smells like. I just kind of felt like an exploring vagrant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, get to know people. In like different places and cultures and stuff. Yeah. That's
I remember being a teenager. Me and my brother-in-law went to this one house, and it was like a apartment complex.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 20-year-old guys in there, all sharing, and they're like, "No, come on in." I was baked as heck, what I mean? And we're like, "Yeah, okay." And they're like, "Sit on the couch," and we're like, "All right." And we sit down, and there's like porn magazines. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, that's pretty neat. And I'm like, man, this house smells really weird. Kind of good though. That's a weird looking vase. And then the guy next to me, I think they were trying to mess with us, which I can't blame them. I've done the same in my adulthood. But he's got this big old buck knife, you know what I mean? He's like cleaning his fingers. Looking at me, you know what I mean? And then he just put it on the table and start like on the porn mags. And my brother-in-law, he was a little bit more on the meeker side. To me, I was like, dude, we got to come back.
One time my buddy, he was like, hey man, I want you to meet these people, man. I got these people we're gonna go hang out, And I was like, all right. So it was me and my other buddy and him. We go out to Westport and drive down the street. It's just Westport, except the house we parked in front of, there wasn't a house there. It was like just this gigantic tree, And so he's like, all right, we're here. And it's like all overgrown sidewalk. All the other houses look normal. There's all just house, all normal houses, like sidewalks, bushes, stuff. But this house was just a tree. It's a gigantic tree. And you kind of push through the branches to get to the door, right? And it's like in Westport. And we get to the door and open the door, and so my buddy didn't tell me. He's like, yeah, they're vampires, like for real though. But seriously, there's this dude and a chick, and they had they were dressed like vampires, and like she had hair down to like her calves, long brown hair, straight brown hair. It was like 5 feet long, and he played the pipe organ, right? Yeah. And they had all these old wavy mirrors, like you look at the mirror and it's like distorted because it's like hundreds of years old, the glass settles, and so we're sitting in this house. and this guy's over there, like playing this pipe organ, and we're like, and I mean, it was like, I was like, this might be the craziest trip of my life here, man. I'm like, wow, this is insane. I was like, this dude just runs over these vampires' houses, man. But they were really nice, you know, and they played cool music, and we hung out there for like several hours. It's like, wow, here we are hanging out with vampires. I was like, I'm not, you know, really into the vampire thing so much, but it was interesting to meet some. They were very, you know, personable, very nice, you know. Amazing musician, though, really. I mean, the guy could play like medieval, like pipe organ. I'm talking like a Count Dracula thing, you know, but like extended edition, like 2-hour set. I was like, and it was good. It was like, I mean, it was like all over the place. It was, I mean, it sounded good. I was, you know, candles going everywhere. You know, we're just sitting there, yeah, man, hanging out. It was like vampire organ show, man. It was weird.
Did they show up in the mirrors?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the mirrors were kind of creepy because they were old. They were old mirrors, you know. And you see an old mirror and you move your head and it like goes warm, like the glass like distorts. But they had mirrors all over. Like, yeah, it was a trip though. You know, we hung out and I was like, well, that was interesting. I never hung out with vampires before. You know, I was like, thanks. Glad I made it out of there. You know, yeah.
Without being turned.
Yeah, something, you know, weird, you know, it didn't get weird or nothing, you know, I mean weirder than, you know, listen to pipe organ, you know, but it was cool though. He was actually a phenomenal musician, like, yeah. And he was wearing like the vest and everything with the red thing, you know, and I mean, the slick back, I mean, hair, they were pale as ghosts. I mean, they're like, you know, there's people that really, I mean, I don't know, it was pretty wild though, you know. Yeah, there's some wild people out there, man.
And I've met some too. You're talking about glad I made it out of there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, I've been pretty solo, a pretty well free spirit for most of my life. I pretty much from like 14, 15 on, I had a hunger to go find out what everybody else was up to, and not the ones that.
Interesting people.
That's right. Yep.
Interesting folks. Yeah.
And some of the most interesting folks I've met are people who don't have an address.
Yeah. Those are the people you got to worry about. The people that crash in abandoned houses, and you know, they don't even need power. They got a generator out back. You know.
There's this couple that I met back when I was like 22, and Pete and Keola. They lived down it's off Armour Road, but if you
okay, yeah.
I met him at a gas station.
Yeah.
Another guy, and he started a conversation, and then we all just kind of clicked, and we went and hung out underneath this tree, and we met their friends. There's a guy who had a bike and had a chainsaw on the front of it. Chainsaw on the front, and he put a wheel on the front of the chainsaw, and then he would tip the chainsaw forward, and it would
run the bike,
front
drive.
You know? So riding around on that, and made enough friends that they're like, "You want to come see our spot down on the river?" I'm like, "Of course, you know."
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, we'll come back tomorrow." And well, long story short, if you go down through this abandoned spot, go through the spot in the fence, go over some rocks, and go down, there's like a homeless village down there.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah.
And I ended up. I've known those two people for like almost 8-10 years now, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, Keola, almost 13, whatever. But made like really good friends with them. I would go over to their house sometimes. They had this great little cabin, little stove and everything, pallets, you know, glass windows, and it was great. And this one time we were down there, and it was Pete's birthday. And we were gonna get we got a bunch of food, drinking a bunch of beer and liquor, whatever, and we're inside their little house, and a couple friends came over, and well, things started getting a little freaky, you know what I mean? It's like, birthday party, you know what I mean? And then he got jealous, and Keola got jealous of him, and then he got mad at her. It really escalated,
the
right?
dynamic shifts.
So me and the other two girls that were over were like, let's go step outside, let them take care of their business, you know?
Yeah.
So we step outside, and then we hear like smashing glass, and then crushing up against the walls, so here and there and here and there. I told the other girls, you should probably go, you know? And so gave them some pork chops, you know, and got beers, and wished them on their way. And then I go and I open the door, and Pete, he's got some issues. He choked a dog to death once. It was unnecessary. But he took a chalice like a candle chalice that had like a glass top on it, about like the size of my hand.
Yeah.
And he smashed it against the wall, and then had her up against the wall and was stabbing her in the side with it.
Oh,
You know,
jeez,
like
man.
multiple, like about half a dozen good stabs, you know.
Yeah.
And she's luckily a little bit of Michelin Man, like Michelin Man
Yeah.
will slip past, you know what I mean? Not like too much. She had
Yeah.
just enough blubber, you
Yeah,
know what I mean, to keep it off her vitals.
Wow. Yeah.
But they're deep, you know
See,
what I mean?
well, that's like one of my friends. His wife accidentally stabbed him in the heart with a kitchen knife. You know,
Ooh.
it was an accident. You know,
Yeah.
because he turned around and she had this trash bag or something, and oops, sorry, babe. You know, like
Oh.
punctured a lung or something, man.
That's
But
what
yeah,
I
it was,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, but I don't know. It came right down his chest. It was like, you know, I mean, who doesn't get stabbed in the chest on accident every once in a while? You know, I guess I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they both said, oh yeah, it was totally an accident. Oh yeah. You know, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
Passionate accident.
yeah, passionate.
we'll
Yeah.
call
Well,
that.
they both seemed like they had time to get their stories together. Yeah. Because I turned around like this, and he had like this, and I had this knife, and I was like, it's okay. You don't need to prove it to me. You know, I don't need to.
Definitely don't show me.
I'm not here for like forensics or anything. You know, I just, it's like my friends. You know, they're wild. Yeah, there's some wild people out there, man.
But I had to tell, I came in and they're still yelling, and I see she's all stabbed up, and I was like, Pete, I was like, no, bad, Pete, bad, you know what I mean? Like, no, I was like, get over there in that corner. I was like, what are you thinking? This is Yola, you know? And like, we're all very vocal like that. You kind of have to be. It's like dogs in a kennel. You know? If you're not barking, then you're probably going to get bit. Kind of thing. And so I barked at him and got Keola, and I was like, well, we went outside. I was like, do you want to go to the hospital? She's like, no. I was like, I'll take you now. I said, but if I drink the rest of this beer, I was like, this is the last hit. I was like, you're going to have to write it out. And I was like, what do you got here to make it better? You know, I was like, well, how can we save this to keep you from going to the hospital? She's like, I don't got anything out here. I was like, well, crap. I was like, show me what you got. She had maxi pads.
There you go.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, we'll take the maxi pads. And so I'm putting these maxi pads with Scotch tape over the wounds. We didn't have anything to clean it with, so Steel Reserve 211, you know? Yeah, 11%. I was like, well, not too much because we've only got this many left, but let's clean them out with a little bit of, you know, 11%.
Little beer.
Slap some maxis on it, a little bit of Scotch, you know? Put maybe
Get his new, right? Yeah.
Well, and then we'll just keep on doing the rest of the night. So her and I, we sit out on the bank and we drink a lot. Turns out that this was like 6 years ago when we had the crazy flood where the Missouri River came up over the bank.
Yeah, wow.
They're right on the bank.
Yeah.
So I didn't know it was going to rain that much.
Yeah.
Nobody did.
Yeah.
And so that water that was up about 30 feet higher than, well, maybe 20 feet higher than
up.
normally
Yeah,
is,
it's up. Yeah. Wow.
finally crested.
Oh, wow.
Now, I remember falling asleep outside, but I remember waking up soaked in cold water, shivering like, I don't know, 30 feet downstream.
Wow, you washed down the river. Wow,
So the river had come up and apparently got me enough that I floated downstream.
Wow.
Cold water woke me up.
Wow.
Crawled back, went into the house, you know, with them, and luckily that stove was going, and I curled up underneath it, and I was like, oh, more pork chops. You know what I mean? They were up there all making a fight, and, you know. And I wake up to the water surrounding us.
Oh, wow.
It's all the way around, and they were like slightly on a hill from the bank, but the water had already gone and filled in even deeper where it's lower.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you're like, last little piece of land.
Trapped.
Yeah.
It was about, you know what I mean, like the size of this carpet that was maybe not underwater.
Wow.
And so we, now we're like, you want to talk about an awkward morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, So I'm not talking to Pete. He's being quiet. I'm helping Keel. And we end up throwing everything valuable on top of their shack, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we got to get out of here because it's
Rising
raising.
up. You can
as
tell.
we
Yeah. You can
proceed.
tell. Yeah.
And I didn't want to get the bacteria of the Missouri River in old girl's half a dozen poke holes.
Yeah. It's probably not a good idea. Yeah. It's probably not a good idea. Yeah.
So I was like, what else you got? We're out of Maxis. So we took a Walmart sack I took a Walmart sack and I slapped it up there, and I taped a big old Walmart sack on it like
wow,
this.
yeah.
You know, super taped it, and she put her backpack on, and she's like, no. So I got my backpack, which isn't even mine, and her backpack on top. So I got double backpacks. And Pete was like, I'm gonna stay, and I was like, you probably should, you know, once you think about yourself for a minute.
Yeah.
We need to get out of here. So we start trekking through, and the water just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And I know that we got another bank over here. So we're like up to like here in the water.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I'm like, this is gonna be bad. Not bad, but not intentional. At least the water's not moving very fast. But we start going, and I got her hand, and it just keeps going, and now she's like floating. She's like doing like hands out there and feet. And I was like, you can't swim? You should have told me you can't swim. And so like, oh God, and like, dude, I had to like bounce because it was like right here, and I got the backpacks, you know what I mean? And I walked her on out of there. We got across the water, and we climbed up these rocks, and luckily somebody else was there to meet them, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go home now.
Yeah, the other way.
She's still around. Me and Kilo's had a lot of crazy times.
Yeah.
But they're good friends, man. Like there's something about spending time with people that got no place to spend their time except just be.
Yeah.
Talk about being present.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Don't care where they came from, or they don't care where they're going.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there like that, you know. There's definitely, man. There's
You're good friends, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
There's this one guy who lived behind Savers in Liberty. I call him Dumpster Dave because he used to sleep next to the dumpster after they kicked him out of that other spot, which was way better. But and we became pretty good friends too. You know, I used to do my laundry there and always hang out. And told him I was going to a festival the next day. He goes, I want to go. Don't play with me. I said, I'll be here tomorrow about noon. And I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I had to drag my foot out behind the dumpster. Wake up! You told me you're going. So I take this like 65-year-old guy to this festival, Dystopia down at Lake Scene.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, I heard about that. Yeah, that was a pretty good lineup, man.
Yes.
I saw that show. Yeah, I know exactly what you're taling about. Yeah, that was. I can't believe they didn't have it in Missouri. I would have gone if they had it in Missouri.
It's only a couple hours away. It's worth it.
Yeah, but it's in Kansas. You know what I mean? A couple hours, man. You know, Yeah, but no, they didn't. No, I gotta say they had hats off to the lineup on that one. That was impressive, man.
It wasn't even about the music so much because this guy's never been to an EDM festival.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so I got this Chevy G20 raised top van.
Yeah.
You know, so we cruised down there, and like I've been to 12 of the 15 dance fests.
Yeah.
And I try not to pay ever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's okay, bud. We're gonna sneak in. It's the first time they had it in Lake Scene. And I was like, but I do have this acid. I said, it was really good, but it was in the back of my phone the whole time I was in Florida. And I was like, I was on a paddleboard. I was like, it might have got wet. I forgot it was there. It's probably not any good. We should take the whole tab each. Oh, it was good.
It was good.
It was still good.
And sang.
Oh, really good.
Yeah.
He actually saved my life because we broke a bottle of whiskey off the top, right? Yeah. And I was like, oh, there's still whiskey. And I was going to go drink it.
Glass. He knows better than that. Yeah,
splash the bottom. And I was like, wow, I don't want to swallow a bunch of shards of glass. That would be a really bad trip.
Yeah, that happened to me once. I was at my buddy's house, and we were back in, junior high or middle school or something like that. And I was sitting there, sitting there on acid like we did back in the 90s, and I had my hand in my pocket, and I felt my fingers were sticky, and I was like, what is sticky in my pocket? And so I didn't know, but I pulled my hand out, and there's these shards of glass just sticking out of my fingertips, and there's just blood all over my hand. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, that's the stickiness, all right. I lean over to my buddy. I say, hey, is this for real? He goes, oh, my gosh, what did you do to yourself? I said, oh, boy, I need to go to the bathroom and clean this up. And I guess I had some broken glass, some test tubes or something in my pocket that shattered, and I was just smashing them in my fingers, like not paying attention to it because it was like, just sitting there smashing around something in my pocket, and I pull my hand out, and it's literally glass, shards just hanging on my fingers. Like I spent like a half hour in the bathroom pulling glass out of my fingers.
It's like that.
like just
It
yeah,
felt good
man.
at first.
Well, I didn't even notice it at first. The first thing I noticed was it was sticky, and I was like, "What did I get? Honey or something in my pocket? What is this?" You know, and it was blood. It was like my hand was covered in blood. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Don't panic." I was like, "Hey, is this for?" I casually lean over my buddy. I'm like, "Hey, you help me out here. You see this?" And he was like, "Oh no!" I was like, he freaked, you know, and I was like, oh, "Yep, okay, it's for real. I guess we better clean this up." Because you just never know, you know.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were young. I remember, man, it took forever. I was in there in the bathroom picking glass out of my hands, and I was like, ankles sure do look a lot like tree trunks, you know. Just staring at my feet, like, what are you doing in there? Cleaning up, yeah, you know.
Wondering what skin tastes like.
Yeah. Wondering if I got it all, you know. It's like there's glass everywhere. It was a mess. But yeah.
But no, he did me a good solid on that because I was going to swig the rest of it. So we filtered it through a sock.
Yeah, that's like
reasonable.
I was homeless once, you know, and I was staying at my buddy had a complex, I guess you'd call it, and you know, and I was in there, you know, everybody was really, you know, we were all starving to death, you know, we wouldn't eat for days, you know, and I scored a pack of ramen noodles, you know, and I was like, yeah, make some ramen, you know, and I'm cooking this ramen, and you know, I guess, you know, I was like, you know, we want a pack of ramen, you know, for 5 people, you know. I split it up, you know, we're all dying here, you know, faces going numb from malnutrition. I mean, we were like, you know, like dying, you know, and so I'm like, all right, you guys want this green bowl, you know, we're gonna split it up in 5 ways, you know, 1 cup of ramen, you know, 1 pack of ramen, and I divvy out, and I didn't notice, but I guess one of the girls there, she's like, oh yeah, be careful, because I found this glass in the ramen, and well, she was jealous, and she thought I was just gonna eat the whole thing, so she put glass in it. Well, then she felt bad when I shared it, and she warned me about the glass, and we were so hungry, like it was like, well, we'll just let the glass settle to the bottom and eat the ramen off the top, you know. I mean, because you know, yeah. So that's what we did, Science. You know. It's, I mean, yeah, it worked. You know, I didn't die. You know, it was cool. You ever been so hungry you ate an orange peel? You know, like the peel, like you know, eat the orange, and then you know you're just eating the peel, you know, because because I don't know if there's any nourishment in that. I don't think there is, but you know, it's like. You got to be hungry. Yeah, you got to be hungry to eat orange peel, though, man. But that's why, that's why I don't like seeing food go to waste to this day. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, appreciation for that. You know.
Yep.
Real.
Yep. It's like poor people watch their money more than people who've never been without.
Well, I don't know, man. There's people that I know they're very well off. But that's because they mind every penny they get, and they don't. They're very, they're you know, they're very, you know, frugal. You know,
that's true.
And you know, yeah. So you know, so it can go either way. You know, there's people that either don't, you know, take it for granted, but then you got people that come from nothing and really, you know, stay focused, and you know, they'll stay on top. You know, because they maintain that. You know, that's
What's the craziest thing you've ever eaten?
Craziest thing I've ever eaten? Oh my gosh. Man, let me think. Let me think. I think it's something good here. Let me think. What's something good? Maybe a minnow shot. With live minnow.
Oh, sure.
With live minnow.
I thought you were gonna say sperm whale.
No. Yeah. We got the lake. The family. They do a Jägermeister with a live minnow in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's that'll make for an interesting middle of the night, waking up, vomiting. You know, so, yeah, the minnow shot. You can sort of feel it going down, like it's still alive. You know, it's kind of gross. Yeah. So.
Why is my turd swimming?
Yeah. Oh no, it didn't even make it that far. It ended up on the inner tube or something.
Yeah.
Underneath something. That was yeah.
I've swallowed a goldfish a couple times.
Yeah.
The same goldfish a couple times.
Yeah. Oh no.
I was like, "There's no way it's still alive."
Did you get
after
back?
Like 10 minutes.
Did you get back out?
It up.
Yeah.
It's still alive.
Wow, man.
Yep.
Well, yeah, this one was not. It was, he'd been digested in that Jägermeister for about 6 hours, and then they don't taste the same when they come back up after, you know, halfway digested. You know, crawfish. You know, so, and you know, minnows are not like sushi. You know, it's not like, you know, you get a nice plate of sashimi. You know, you can eat a whole pile of that stuff, you know, and feel good. You know, you start eating raw minnows, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. They will make you sick. I don't care how much beer you drown down with. Yeah, man. Yeah, I couldn't. There was no holding that sucker down. It was out. It came back up.
I don't blame you. That's probably where it belongs.
Yeah, yeah. It did not belong in that Jägermeister though. So, yeah.
I've eaten a lot of bugs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, I try to stay away from the ones with bright colors, but you know those the carpenter bees, the big old fat
Okay.
bumblebees
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
burrow those holes.
Mm-hmm.
Those things taste sweet.
Oh, I bet they do. They're probably like they fly around in honey all day. You know. I mean, gosh, they are.
Yeah.
They're covered in it. I mean, they're like candy coated flying.
Yeah, strawberries.
Yeah. Imagine so. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I thought since those were tasted sweet,
Yeah.
then like, well, maybe yellow jackets do.
Yeah, they probably do not though. I would imagine they.
Not sweet,
Yeah.
but like, just like a hack. You can stick your tongue out when they're buzzing around, and they'll come and they'll land on it because there's weird pheromones and it looks like something that they want to eat.
Yeah, that's what it was flying in people's faces.
If you suck in at the same time,
You just eat them. Wow.
but you got to chew really fast.
Yeah.
And you want to keep your tongue kind of closing up the back.
Yeah.
I did that once to one that went a lot farther back. He looked like he was feisty. I'm like, oh, put some extra PSI. He got me, Side of the tongue, luckily, not the back of the throat.
Oh yeah, that'd be rough. Yeah, because you swell up, if you
Stung
reaction.
enough,
Yeah.
Yeah. It hurts, but I'm not like wildly allergic.
Yeah. I've been stung a couple times. We were little kids. We used to, go play in that old abandoned house, in the country, and this place was it was boarded up, mostly, and so we're kids, we go. Of course, what do we do? We climb in this old abandoned house around the block. They used to have things just sitting around, and so we're in there and we're playing around in the back, and this place is just condemned. I mean, there's a hole in the floor, probably 8 feet wide, about 3 feet deep, right when you come through the front door, and a couple of the boards are kicked out in the middle of the door, so you can just sort of climb through the door, Well, my buddy decided to kick a hole through the wall in a hornet's nest inside the house. Hornets start swarming, and so you got to it's like an obstacle course with a squishy floor, So we're like hopping through this, and one of my friends, he falls through the floor into the basement, and we're like jumping through the door, and I had long hair back then, and I got these hornets flying, them stuck in my hair. I'm trying to pull out my hair, and they're like stinging my hands. They're getting all stuck up, and we're wrecked. We're running down the street, all these hornets chasing us down the road, and but yeah,
they care.
It was funny. Yeah, it was funny because there's this gigantic hole right when you come through the door. It's like you got about 1.5 feet before it falls into the basement, and it's about 3 foot long, and it's real soft, and the house just sort of crumbles and just hundreds of years old, floors just fall apart, just rot, and we're just in there playing around, kids, it was it's kind of like today kids, we go to, I guess you don't really go to the park, everyone's on the phone, but if we went to the park, you go to like a park, we go to like an abandoned house,
I love it. Yes, I love the country, grew up in the country, but urban exploring is so much fun.
Oh yeah,
It's a jungle.
Dude, there's some crazy places out there. There's an abandoned insane asylum somewhere in North Kansas City. Have you been there? You been there? Yeah. My friend told me about it. Yeah, it's pretty wild, huh? Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I've heard stories. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah.
And the jail and the wheel welds and the brewery.
There's like records and stuff all over there. There's medical stuff. There's just like documents everywhere. But this is back in the late '90s or the 2000s. Yeah, there was the place was just like abandoned, and there was stuff everywhere in there, and like gigantic building, and somewhere like what would be like East Bottoms or something like that, or like Paseo or something like that.
Yeah, like Divine District.
Divine, like 18 Divine or something. Yeah, Paseo, yeah. Or like the Quindaro ruins, and that's a wild spot. You ever been back there? Yeah, they got these Quindaro ruins. They're kind of dangerous though, because it's like Quindaro, like Kansas City, Kansas, like East Wyandotte County, like right by the river and levee and everything. It's an old town, and the whole thing's overgrown, and but it's like in the woods, So you look back there, and there's just like these old buildings, but a lot of gangsters and stuff hanging back there. So it's probably wouldn't be seriously. I wouldn't go back there. It's probably not the safest spot to go back, but it's definitely an urban like ghost town right in middle of the hood. Yeah, Quindaro.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's creepy though. It's creepy. You drive by and you look at it, and you're like, man, we were in the hood, and then look at it, you got all these abandoned buildings back in the woods, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's
I'm okay
there's some
with
odd
that.
stuff. There's some odd
I'll
stuff.
leave the grill at home, but I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't bring a wallet and bring a jug of Wild Irish Rose wine.
Yeah.
That's
At least, man.
an
I don't know.
entry.
Yeah. They'll get in the door.
Works every time. Yeah. Got a lot of friends that way.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to lose, and his cat ain't even got shoes on. What are you gonna do? Don't wear shoes, you know?
Yeah. You never know, man.
I'm not wearing underwear. If you take my pants, we're all gonna suffer.
There's this guy. We were all out at Perry Lake. We were camping, in the woods. We're all sitting there, and there's this truck, coming down the road, and all night the gag was my buddy was like, he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna eat somebody. He's like, yeah, and he's like, somebody, you're gonna eat somebody, and so we're out there in the woods all hanging out, and this is like this running gag through the whole trip, and body, he keeps just saying, we're sitting there by the fire, and this truck gets high centered in the trail about 200 feet back from the front. It's like, somebody's stuck. So we're like, we're gonna go help these people out, try and keep him on a leash, We're just stuck in the woods. And he's like, yeah, got her high centered. He's like, he's gonna go get something. And he's like, he goes, yeah, I think I've got something back at the camp. Grab real quick. He runs back to get like a jack or something, to try and get out. He goes, what is he doing? Bringing the whole barbecue grill? The guy asks him, and he goes, barbecue, yeah. And it was like, this whole time he's like, it was really dumb, but it was funny.
Y'all were hungry.
He kept saying, this guy was like, barbecue, yeah. And this guy's like, I was like, dude, shut up, dude. He's gonna kick your ass.
Looks like some orange peels.
Yeah. This guy, yeah. He's like, I wouldn't have cut it, man. He was like, yeah, this guy. He's like, he broke down the wrong road. Yeah, we can go get the barbecue grill. and he's like, we helped the guy out. It was terrible though, because it was like, poor guy, no idea. He broke down into a camp full of freaking retards. We were all like, just drunk and like just dumb, man. I'm just glad he didn't catch on to that, because that would have been really embarrassing. I'm like, dude, he'd be like, you're gonna do what? Like, you're not gonna eat me. Like, pull out a pistol or something. Middle of the woods. The guy's stuck. I was like, man, yeah, we got him out of there. It was kind of funny though, 'cause he's back there crashing around in the camp. He's like, he's bringing the whole barbecue grill, fellas. It's like, I was like, yeah, barbecue. It's like,
That would have been nice if he did show up with it.
Yeah.
You ever been into? Well, they tore it down just recently, but it's called Wheel Welds. It was an old abandoned building down by. It's kind of like the West Bottoms 12th Street Bridge. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. West Bottoms, yeah.
As you're going down the 12th Street Bridge, it's that used to be that giant abandoned building that had a tree growing on top and all the broken windows out of it.
Okay, yeah, I know someone that owns a building. I'm just a couple blocks over.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple buildings down there. Yeah. My buddy took me. Have you ever been down in the levee through the pump station?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Check this out. My buddy had this scrap gig. He was like, yeah, man, I got this scrap metal. It's down by the river. We're gonna go down there, and it's just like trash. It's a bunch of stainless steel and some transformers and stuff just on the side of the river, just washed up, just old junk, man, literally junk, just sitting there. There's a dumpster full of motorcycles, all kinds of stuff down there. But it's inside the levee, so you got to get, the levee's like 10, 15 foot concrete like wall, and so you can't just hop over it. So he's like, all right, and I didn't see a no trespassing sign. On my defense, there was not one single no trespassing sign. So we climb up this building, and it's we're climbing through all this like weird metal like walkways and rails and stuff, and then he pulls this grate up off the floor, and it's just like black, dude. You look down and shine the light down, it just swallows up the light. It's like 4 stories straight down, like 3 stories, straight down in black, at nighttime, backpacks. We're like, oh, we're going down in this hole, you know, and we climb down there, and you got to stop every once in a while, you know, and there's no cage on the ladder. You can't see anything. It's just open and just black, pitch black, and you're climbing down this ladder like 3 or 4 stories down. It's like, that's a big ladder, you know what I mean? You know, you got, you know, so we finally get down to the bottom, and it's like we're in the pump station, like underground, and there's these giant steel doors like this big and like foot thick, 6-inch thick steel, and they're hooked on, and they're all hydraulic. Okay, so like someone hits a button or a sensor gets tripped, and the door just shuts. You know, so you don't want to like climb through them. You know, you might not ever get out. You know, something flicks. You know, and it's like a I mean, it's like a manhole, but like 6 times as thick, and like they're massive, and they got like hydraulic presses that actually close and manage the pump station, you know. So we climbed down all the way in there, and then we got this, and we climbed through this big tube, and boom, you know, poof, you're right on the river. You know, you're underneath. We climbed underneath the levee, so we actually went through the
Gonna have to drop me a pin on this.
It's pretty wild though. So we end up we're down by the water, you know. We get out, walk right out on the river, and he's like, yeah, it's over here. So we go over there, and there it is, you know, past the motorcycle, whole dumpster full of motorcycles, like 1970s motorcycles. There's probably 30 of them just piled up in a dumpster in the river. It's just like, there's a dumpster of motorcycles. So I was like, right on. We were looking for, you know, scrap metal, you know, it was a scrap gig. So I was like, right on, yeah, let's go get this scrap. And there's these stainless steel, like little punch out pieces. Someone punched out, you know, 1,000 pieces of stainless and just left the scrap there. So we sat there and we scraped up. We probably got like 200 pounds of stainless. And then and then this transformer, right? It's like the transformer was as big as this table, massive freaking thing. And so we're just in there with like hand tools trying to disassemble this thing. And like 10 minutes into trying to take apart this transformer, my buddy slices his hand, like gashes it open, and he can't. And he's worthless. So I end up, so I end up having to take and I pull the copper out of this thing. 'Cause it's literally just sitting there in overgrown weeds. It's probably been there for 10, 20 years, something like that. It's literally garbage in the river, just sitting there, and it's scrap metal, you know. So we got about 200 pounds of stainless, and we got probably another 180 pounds of copper or something like that out of this thing, just ripping, you know. But you got to get it loose before you can get the coils out, and it was heavy duty, you know. So we rip all this stuff out, and then so to get back out of there, you know, because we're not going to carry, you know, 400 pounds of scrap up a ladder, you know, 4 stories, you know. So to get out of there, you got there's like a ladder that climbs up to the top of the levee, so it's like 15 foot. And you get up on top of the levee, right? And so from there, you got to jump to this railroad platform. It's like 6-foot gap. And you got to stop and land on the platform and not fall, you know, like 10, 15 foot to the ground, you know. But it's kind of crazy because you're like jumping from the levee to the platform. It's probably shouldn't be back there. I don't know if it's, but, you know, so I don't know. We had to get out of there somehow, you know. I mean, you know, yeah, that was the way. So, you know it was a pretty good gig, though. I mean, one night, you know, we made like $400 or something like that, you know.
And you packed all that out of your backpack?
Yeah, well, we coiled it up and just big old balls, and some like kind of like gunny sacks full of freaking stainless little punch outs. We sat there and just picked them out of the gravel. We made like $200 a piece in like 6 hours. So
it's not bad.
It's not bad at all, man. You know, it was cool, you know. So.
Almost enough to pay for the stitches.
It's hard, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's hard work though, you know. I mean, you know, there's certainly hazards, you know, but it was fun though, you know. It was fun, you know. I never seen the belly of the freaking pump station in the river. So that was it's creepy though, you know. When you're looking down there and you're looking at that door, and it's like you can see where the hinges are, you know, and where the hydraulic, you know, arms and stuff that press, you know, it's all pneumatic. You know, I mean, boom, someone hits a button or something, and it just closes, you know. And you look in there, there's little rooms and compartments and stuff where
it's cold down there, ain't it?
Not really. No, it wasn't too bad. It was comfortable. I mean, it was because it was like summertime, so it was. Okay. It was
right
cozy. It was cozy inside. It was cozy. Yeah, it was wet though. It was kind of drippy, and you know, and like just a little bit of water, you know. So it's like you need soggy shoes, you know, you're walking around and stuff. But yeah, it was fun though. Yeah,
it's an adventure.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm sure, you know, taking a college course and learning something that you know that you're passionate about that can, you know, turn into a secular reward. I'm sure that's pretty rewarding to some people, but man, I'm kind of more on the want to go in
Yeah.
the pump
Yeah.
station and
Yeah, man, it is
find
cool.
something.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and yes.
See, everybody needs a couple of them friends.
Yeah, man, you got it. Yeah, man.
Maybe not more than that.
Yeah,
Maybe not, maybe not,
yeah.
maybe not all your friends.
Yeah.
You end up with glass in your soup. you know?
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, sometimes you got to eat. Pick out the glass, you know.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Who knows? It might be your friend that shows you that there is glass in your sock.
Come back later and warn you. At least if they tried to kill you. Sorry about that. You know, I was like, oh gosh, oh well, pick it out. You know, you know, it's like.
That's probably good. I bet everybody chewed real slow and enjoyed their 3 bites.
It was, yeah, there wasn't, I mean, you split a bag of ramen 5 ways, man. You know, you don't really have a lot. There's just not a whole lot there, you know what I mean? I don't care how you divide it up. I mean, you got it in any 5 portions, man, and it's just not a lot there, you know?
Man, food's never been hard for me to come from in the city.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it was,
every one of these restaurants and gas stations, all you need to know is whenever the
that guy works there, then
down,
when they throw out the old donuts and stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Whenever the deli closes, you can ask them. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's going to be about 15 minutes after that. You can hang out. Now, one of my favorite places to sleep when I'm urban camping is on top of liquor stores.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're the best.
Oh, yeah. You got the view.
Well, one, you're going to end up there anyway.
Yeah.
You know, end of the day and beginning, you know, so, you know, cuts your traffic, your route out.
It's like those people that camped out in the attic of Walmart.
Yeah.
And they came out at night, you know, and then they go shopping and get stuff. You know, well, they wouldn't shop, but they would just go get stuff when the Walmart was closed, and then they'd hide back out in the attic. They were living in there for like months or something like that, and, then they finally caught them living in the attic of the
It was worth it.
Walmart. Yeah, but no rent, you know.
Yes.
Electricity, it's climate controlled.
Yeah.
You got everything you need right downstairs, you know.
Plus some. The biggest garage with ours.
But they were hanging out, and it showed the picture of it, and it was like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I would imagine the people living in the attic of Walmart to look like. You've seen the.
Is this in Excelsior Springs?
You know, you see I think it was definitely down. I think it was somewhere down south. Yeah, I think it was a southern. It was a southern general direction. But yeah, they're in the picture in the mugshot. Looking like, yeah.
Bet they're well fed.
Like they actually, the lady was she was a big girl too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had to give her a boost up that ladder.
Big.
Yeah, a boost up that. Yeah, it's like 6 months ago. She was only X pounds.
She was probably tired of the attic. Like, let's get a bunk bed. You get top.
Now, honey, you put on any more weight, you're gonna crack through that ceiling tile in the floor.
But the beauty of these liquor stores is that they got the most amount of air conditioning units on their roof.
Oh yeah.
And like I've always loved a fan when I sleep.
Oh yeah.
So you got constant noise.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
A nice white noise.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually always flat roofs.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a slant, which is cool. I like my head up on that little dash.
Yeah.
But the AC units, they can. There's 2 different ways they work. Some of them blow out the top. Some of them suck in from the top. But the ones that blow down, if it's hot, you got wind on
It's
you.
like cooling off. Yeah.
And I've learned that the ones that blow up, if you get a tarp, you can tie it off to the bottoms of it and take that tarp
And direct the air on.
Yeah, and make yourself a tent.
Yeah.
And then you put your shoes as a weight and your backpack on the other, and you're sleeping under this canopy that you have wind.
It's like a dome. Yeah.
But if it rains,
Yeah.
you won't feel it until it slides down the pitch of the roof.
Yeah.
But at least it won't land on you.
Yeah. There you go.
And that's where pallets come in handy.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah, that's good.
You've got those too.
Yeah, right around the corner. Yeah.
Those plastic pallets?
Yeah.
You just line those up. It's a flat bed.
I slept on those once. It was
Yeah.
like 20 degrees outside, and I was where was I? I was like right, man, it was way down. I don't remember, down South Kansas City, Missouri, or something like that, and no ride. And I was like, man, it's cold out here. About 20 degrees. I got the wind. No wheels. I got no money. I got no phone. I think I'm gonna go sleep under that 435 bridge. So I go up 435, but there's about a 50 mile an hour breeze kicking underneath the bridge, which makes it rough under the bridge, you know, because it's just cutting through. And I was like, yeah, it's too windy up here. I'm not going to sleep up here. So I was like, try down in the woods over there, you know, find a nice log and some leaves, you know, and curl up. And you know, you can sleep a little bit under a log and leaves, you know. And then I got up and looked up and I was like, oh, look at that. I'll be darned, there's some pallets down there. I can prop up a little. But even the pallets don't really do a whole lot for the breaking the wind, so it's just, I mean, hey, who hasn't gone camping every once in a while,
Yeah. I like looking up or finding a diesel mechanic.
Yeah.
Because there's a pretty good chance that they've got a semi. And you just find a semi with a camper behind it.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's already in their field and not used, odds are it's not even locked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had a couple good, cozier than I deserved nights in a semi camper.
What do they say? What do they get? The squatters' rights, or you can come out? What are you doing in my camper? I've been here for look at the time, 90 days. So it looks like you'll need to file.
You got to fix it.
You'll need and yes, and yes, and that electricity that just went off the other day. It's getting a little warm. Maybe you better get that turned back on. Because that's true. Actually, I know people. They had someone that they rented an apartment. Okay. So they're on the lease. It's their lease, and it's against the terms to sublease. You can't sublease. You can't just rent a 2-bedroom, half duplex and sublease to a whole bunch of other people.
Oh, I got you.
So, but they did, okay, and so the thing was, when they wanted the people to leave, they were like, get out of here, and they were like, no, and they were like, well, you can't make them leave because they've been there for so long. So they called the cops. Well, the cops were like, sorry. And in fact, you need to turn that Wi-Fi back on because you can't take services away from them that you've been providing for them. So they told them, you can't kick them out. You have to file eviction, right? Well, they're not the property owner, so they can't evict somebody. So it's literally like a wedge in the system where there's nothing that they could do about it because they went against their lease. And since they weren't the property owners, they couldn't file for the eviction. They literally had to turn back the Wi-Fi and turn the water back on, and couldn't, because they'd call the police back on them because they couldn't even evict them. And,
crazy.
Yeah, like there's some wild people out there. Like I'm telling you, and they're like, well, I don't care. I'm living here whether they like it or not. I'm not giving them nothing for it. It's like they invite you to their house and then they just totally turn on them. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, that's so weird, though. You know what I mean? And the law backs them up. The police were like, yeah, sorry, yeah, you better turn that water back on because that's how the law is written. Like squatters' rights, they have more rights than the people that had extended them to them without even having the technical ability, legally to even extend what they did. So they violated the terms of the lease by allowing them.
Be a landlord.
But they couldn't even kick them out because they couldn't file in the court because they didn't own the property. But their landlord would have to file, and so they couldn't even do anything about it. Their hands are tied. They could do nothing about it. And I was like, that's insane. I wouldn't want to be like in a position like that. I would, that's one thing. If I feel like I'm not wanted somewhere, I get the drift. I can go on my way. You know what I mean? But there's people that are like, oh no, I'm going to stay here whether you like it or not. And I'm like, oh yeah, wow, have fun, bye. Well then I guess I'm out. But yeah, there's people like that. It just blows my mind that people would.
That's when as soon as I found that out, I'd probably go and get a fire insurance.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say they didn't do. There were attempts to get to coerce them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Like stink bombs.
I mean, they try. They shut off the electricity, shut off the water, shut off everything. We'll wait them out. Padlock on the refrigerator so they can't eat the food. Come in and eat their food. Somebody put a camera in his room, and he's like, you know what? He said, I want you to come in here and sit down with me and look at this. And I was like, oh yeah, what's you got, man? He's like, well, about a month ago, I put a camera in my room, and he goes, I tell you what, I want you to sit back and you watch the video with me, because you're the only one here I did not find on this camera going through my stuff, stealing stuff from me. And I was like, oh, well, of course not, And so we had to sit there and we watched everyone else in the house go in there. And it's just, this guy's, going to work, help people out, help you out with a place to stay. And I said every once in a while, but he says, yeah, every single person, they came staying here. Is every single one of them robbed me? Like everyone, like literally, I'm filming on tape. He's like, you're the only one that didn't rob me. He's like, so we're gonna sit there and watch this together. I was like, right on. You know, I was like, and there they are. Oh, but darn, there they are. They're going through. You're not even here. They're just going through, walking in your room, sneaking in, all creeping around, you know, going through your stuff. And I was like, that's terrible, man. You know, you find someone in your house and they violate your trust like that, you know, and just. It was like
Well, I said
it was
you need a
everybody.
couple friends like
Yeah,
that.
it was.
They can't be
Yeah,
all your friends.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but it was crazy. It was just. I was like, wow. 'Cause I know some of the people for a while, and I thought, man, I could never imagine them, you know.
Was the glass soup lady in one of them?
No.
Okay,
No, I wouldn't. No. She was definitely. Yeah, she had some things, some issues. I don't know. Yeah.
Like when people get desperate, man. I wonder what would happen if if we had a war that actually came to the United States of America. We always travel for war. It's been a while since it's knocked on our door.
Well, that's why it's kind of like with chess, you know. You know, one strategy is to take the center of the board, make your enemy work around you. You know, you control the middle of the board. You know, just jump right up in the middle, stand there and take it. You know, take control of the middle, and then their whole strategy, their whole attack, is based on working around your defense, rather than, you know, and you control the game at that point. You know, once whoever takes the center of the board controls the game. You know, it's the way. That's the way. It's pretty common. Yeah,
that's what Germany was going for.
Yeah, full frontal. You know, like they just boom, step right on top and say, you know, yep. They take the middle of the board and just take it, just plant the flag, and what are you gonna do? You know, you gonna yep.
Well, on that note, us in Missouri are the middle of the middle of the
board.
We got.
I think we got a pretty good. You know, I always did like the ocean. You know, so kind of being landlocked here is kind of, but it's Missouri. Oh yeah, Missouri is so much better than Kansas. Oh, yeah.
Hey man, I agree.
So much better. Oh man, yeah.
Personally, I have preferences, and mine's on the Mo side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I never look back. But I'll tell you what, I used to stay in the hood in Kansas City. You know, I don't know if you know Randall Cleaver Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
So
that wasn't his dream. I'm telling you what.
Well, I was a little bit north of there. You know, a few blocks north of there. You know, so when you get into like it's the hood, you know, it's like it's pretty ghetto. You know, and I remember the last day before I moved to the country, you know, the last straw, if you will, you know, broke the camel's back, you know, just sleeping, it's peaceful, we got the fan in the window, you know, the window's open, it's a nice cool night, you know, it's springtime, 2020, sometime around there, and all I hear is pow, 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 from like here to where Brody's car's parked, you know, outside my window about 25, 30 feet, and you know, oh man, I come out right outside my window, like the next door in the street, just pow, 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 pow. And I hear, you need to take your butt to the shooting range. And then I hear, oh yeah, pow, 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 pow. So I'm moving to the country where people respect firearms. I was like, I don't know what direction he's shooting. I'm like listening to him, like, come on, slat plaster walls, you know, save me from that. I don't know. He goes, oh yeah, pow, 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 pow. And I can hear him talking like right outside my window, just shooting up. And the thing is, you know, nobody even calls the police. Nobody even cares. It's just like, you know, I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man, I hear some sirens or something. No, nothing. And this guy's just shooting in the air, pow, 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 or something. Oh yeah, pow, 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 pow. I don't know the rest of the clip. I'm like, man, I'm moving to the country. I was like, I'm getting the heck out of here, you know. Like, at least in the country, you know, you hear a gun going off, you're like, oh yeah, you know, I feel like 99% confident it's probably pointing in a safe direction, you know. I mean, sure, there's exceptions, but I mean, you know what I mean? You hear someone out shooting skeet or something, you know, pow, pow, you know, you don't really worry about it. You know, someone right outside your window, 20 feet from your bedroom, you know, just unloading into the air, you know, like I was like, man, I'm out of here, dude. I'm out. I'm out, you know.
Don't blame you.
And I moved to the country. You know, never look back. And yep, it's nice. Man.
Peaceful out there.
Oh man, it's so quiet. Yeah, I love it.